Hello, I'm glad to see you again in the VNA News Bulletin. I'm Ngọc from Hanoi and now the headlines. Tropical storm VNA makes landfall in northern Vietnam. President visits Air Defense Air Force Service. Typical fog paintings on display in Hanoi. Tropical storm VNA made landfall in northern Vietnam on August 19th afternoon and downgraded into tropical depression. We have more details in the following report. According to the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, the storm landed at Hai Phong City and Hai Binh Province at around 2 p.m. The winds near the storm eye peaked at 60 to 90 km per hour. In the northern coastal province of Quảng Ninh, the storm forced the evacuation of more than 4,700 people. As of 5 p.m. of August 19th, the storm, the third hitting Vietnam so far, made 11 houses collapse, uprooted 6 others, and put down 22 power poles. It also damaged nearly 200 meters of dikes, flooded over 50 hectares of rice and cash crops, along with pulling down thousands of trees. Vietnam's capital Hanoi has recorded heavy rainfall at 100 to 200 millimeters. The Municipal Department of Agriculture and Rural Development reported the storm injured 3 persons, uprooted 11 houses, and damaged many others. On the afternoon of August 17th, following hitting Hanoi, the typhoon downgraded into tropical depression. It's forecast to continue bringing torrential rains to northern and north-central localities. Floods and landslides have been warned for northern mountainous provinces, while inundation is likely to happen in lowland areas. Earlier on the same day, government leaders scrutinized the preparations for Typhoon VNA. Deputy Prime Minister Vương Đình Huệ toured Quảng Ninh Province to inspect the Hà Nam Sea Dike, which is crucial to over 60,000 locals. More than 400 officials and soldiers from Special Operation Force, Navy, and Infantry forces were dispatched to reinforce some key parts of the dike, as well as direct hundreds of fishing boats on the Rat River to storm-resistant shelters. The Deputy Prime Minister asked the forces involved to increase efforts to ensure safety for locals and mitigate materials losses. The same day, Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam inspected the preparations for the storm in the north-central province of Thanh Hóa and the northern province of Ninh Bình. He asked the localities to keep a close watch on the movements of the storm and promptly inform locals on the preventive measures being taken, particularly removing people in flash flood and landslide-prone areas to safety, and seriously enforcing a ban on boats and ships from sailing. The national flag carrier Vietnam Airlines announced that it has cancelled 20 domestic flights over the past 2 days due to tropical storm VNA, the third of its kind to hit the country so far this year. On August 18th, the cancellation targeted flights from Ho Chi Minh City, Nha Trang and Da Nang cities to the northern port city of Hai Phong and other flights from Ho Chi Minh City to the north-central province of Thanh Hóa. The carrier also aborted 2 flights between Da Nang and Pleiku in the central province of Gia Lai due to bad weather. And on August 19th, Vietnam Airlines continued to cancel 10 other flights connecting Hanoi, Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City with Da Lao City in the Central Highlands province of Lâm Đồng. Meanwhile, the low-cost carrier Vietjet Air has also cancelled 8 domestic flights due to the effects of storm VNA. They include round-trip flights between Ho Chi Minh City and Central Thanh Hóa Province, Khánh Hòa and Thanh Hóa Provinces, Ho Chi Minh City and Hải Phòng and Lâm Đồng, Đắk Lắk and Hải Phòng and Ho Chi Minh City. Besides, 4 flights to and from Cát Bi International Airport in Hải Phòng will be rerouted to and from Nội Bài International Airport in Hanoi. President Chen Dae-kwang asked the Air Defense Air Force Service to continue promoting its core role in intensifying national defense and safeguarding the country. He made the request while visiting the unit on August 19th on the occasion of the 71st August Revolution and National Day, September 2nd. President Kwang requested the unit to effectively implement resolutions and instructions of the Party, State, Central Military Commission and Defense Ministry to build a comprehensively strong armed service. It's required to consider political building as a foundation to increase combating strength and coordinate closely with other forces to protect the air, border, sea and islands of the nation. The Air Defense Air Force Service should apply scientific and technological advances in combat training, use existing weapons effectively, and pay more attention to protecting national secrets in the context of increasing cyber crimes, he suggested. The state leader required the armed force to intensify its relationship with people and actively participate in social welfare programs and search and rescue activities. He also showed his hope that the unit will increase its vigilance and military readiness and overcome all challenges to gain further achievements, thus contributing to the nation's construction and safeguarding. Foreign Ministry spokesman Lê Hải Bình said Vietnam acknowledges several adjustments in the U.S. Department of State's 2015 annual report on international religious freedom. However, the report still contains several subjective assessments and cites incorrect information about Vietnam. Binh affirmed the Vietnamese state's consistent policy of respecting and ensuring citizens' rights to freedom of belief and religion, which is stipulated in the country's constitution and law. Now move on to another news. Vietnam had its best ever result at an international Olympiad in informatics when the country won 4 medals at the competition that concluded on August 19th.
All 4 members of the Vietnamese team won medals at the event that took place from August 12 to 19th in Russia. The gold medals were won by Phan Đức Nhật Minh and Phạm Cao Nguyên, both from the High School of the Gifted at the National University of Hanoi. A student from Ho Chi Minh City claimed a silver, while the remaining member of the team from Hanoi took a bronze. With the result, Vietnam ranks 7th out of 81 participating countries and territories. Domestic steel prices are expected to rise in the near future due to increasing construction demand and recovery of the real estate market. According to the Vietnam Steel Association, the selling price of steel billets and bars has risen since July. Specifically, steel billet prices increased from $300 to $310 per ton in July to $315 to $325 per ton at the beginning of this month. The prices of steel bars also increased from $308 to $315 per ton to $330 to $338 per ton. The prices of building steel, excluding VAT, delivered at factories have ranged between $420 to $440 per ton in the north and $420 to $430 per ton in the south. Steel prices could rise further as the prices of steel billets have been rising, while the property market was expected to develop in the last few months of the year. In addition, reports from the Vietnam Steel Association showed that the steel output of its members last month reached 1.4 million tons, posting a 13.6% year-on-year increase. Steel sales in July reached more than 1.2 million tons, increasing 27.3% year-on-year, and 20% higher than from the previous month. The exports of steel products in July also posted a 57% year-on-year rise to reach 246,500 tons. The surge in both steel production and consumption showed that domestic steel producers could meet the demand for building steel. However, steel businesses are advised to further improve their products' quality and reduce production costs to offer more competitive prices.
The Vietnam National Administration of Tourism has launched a photo campaign entitled Super Selfie with a view to promoting the country's landscapes and boosting tourism. The campaign will run until the end of this year at iconic places in localities such as Westlake in Hanoi, Nguyễn Huệ Street in Ho Chi Minh City, and Mỹ Khê Beach in Da Nang. Held in Hanoi from August 20th to September 4th, a podium will be placed in Thanh Niên Road, allowing photographers to capture the stunning views of Chuk Lake Lake and Westlake. After Hanoi, the project will come to Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City. It will be expanded to other famous tourist attractions nationwide in 2017 if it gets warm response from the community. The project is developed on the basis of advanced information technology and photography, allowing photographers to take themselves distance photos with full view and their face. It is expected to inspire domestic and foreign tourists, as well as take the strength of the community and social networking to introduce Vietnam's outstanding tourist attractions, thus increasing the identification of Vietnam's tourism trademark, attracting more tourist arrivals and boosting the country's tourism. Super Selfie was inspired by the Giga Selfie project of Australia in 2015. For the first time, 12 typical tunes of Vietnamese folk paintings are being displayed together in an exhibition in Hanoi. The event provides visitors with a broad view about Vietnam's traditional art and interesting facts about each type of painting.
Lang Sinh and Do Thế paintings were used in worship ceremonies. Thập Vật paintings were once seen in pagodas in northern Vietnam during the feudal regime. These types of painting are among the names facing the risk of oblivion or have already been a lost tradition. As not many people are aware of their existence, 12 typical genres of folk paintings have become a big draw to visitors.
I find the event interesting. There are paintings I have never seen before, such as fabric and glass paintings, and those from southern Vietnam.
On display are more than 200 paintings with brief description on their origins, materials, and preservation work. Each painting tells a story about the Vietnamese spiritual life in the past and shows the artist's skills.
So, and all those paintings, they're so colorful. You can see that people who did not have a lot of money, who had a very hard life, but they're creating something very. And it starts with black and white with only drawings, and then they put some colors on it, and they build up, and it becomes more and more colorful. And they keep it simple, so everybody understands the story. And that's very interesting.
The exhibition at the Hanoi Museum offers a closer look at Vietnam's traditional paintings, waking public interest in the art form.
And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching and see you next time.